We're on a mission to build a regenerative community in central Portugal. A small-scale version of what the whole planet can be, reviving ecosystems and reinventing how we live, work, relate, and give. In our previous two updates, we showed what so-called wildfires are really trying to tell us and how to halt the vicious spiral of fires, droughts, floods, and desertification. Or better said, to co-create lush and abundant ecosystems that are ever more complex and ever more life-giving for all of life, including us humans. So in this video, we're going to show the good side of human disturbance. Some of the water cycle interventions we've been implementing, the baseline attitude we've been cultivating, and two things we're discovering as essential for any kind of ecosystem revival work. Before we kick this off, why don't we just let nature do its thing? We've seen firsthand after the horrendous summer fires of 2025 here in central Portugal, the incredible resilience and regenerative power of nature. But overgrazing, monoculture plantations, land mismanagement, and the dark side of political and economic forces are driving us more and more away from ecosystem stewardship and towards fighting fires, floods, and droughts. Which is a shame because, as we said in one of our previous updates, when it comes to our so-called wildfires, I see only one real firefighter. Nature in all its glorious, lush, biodiverse, moisture-retaining brilliance. And this all starts with seeing ourselves not as separate from, but innately part of nature. One of the most important things we've been learning when it comes to analyzing a piece of land that you want to help revive is to not impose our human will, but to become receptive to what the land is trying to tell us it needs and wants. To be like water, to walk on the land like water would flow on the land, to find direct and indirect evidence of the presence of water, whether above ground or below ground. It's about practicing being a blank slate. So not thinking about what you think the land needs, but sensing, really using your senses, which includes your intuitive sense, to allow the land to dream through you, what it would like to see happen where. When I walk the land like this, it really does start showing itself to me. Designing becomes less about going from top down and more about listening. Now, this requires some practice, and depending on how busy the mind is, it might require a lot of practice, but anyone can do it. We're not going to go into detail in this video. What we are going to do is show some of the work that brings back water and life. One of the first things we did after the summer fires of 2025 was gather people around the community to build erosion retention lines on their lands. We cut down burned trees and we laid them on contour, so perpendicular to the water flow, securing them with stakes, creating barriers that slow the flow of water, help the water infiltrate, and create places to plant new trees. Another intervention we've been practicing, and this is one of my favorites, beaver dams. We are here in a gully, and if we leave it like this, it's going to erode more and more and more. We have water falling down on the land here, and it goes straight down and it leaves the land very quickly. It doesn't have a chance to infiltrate, a chance to recharge the underground aquifer, and it's going to keep eroding more topsoil. So this will be filling up, and it's a leaky dam, so it's not designed to totally hold back the water, it's just designed to slow it down, but maybe at one point beavers maintain their dams, and so humans need to maintain these dams as well by adding more organic matter over time.
Is it moving?
It's making a big difference.
Really? Yeah.
And they are amazing for lots of life to flourish here. And maybe, who knows, in a couple of years we will have beavers here. Oh, you made that home for me? And then they'll be inviting their friends, and before you know it, this whole valley will be covered in beaver dams. Now, these interventions are pretty context specific, but an intervention that you can do in many places, even in a very small backyard, is build a rain garden. That takes water from where it's running off an impermeable surface, the roof of this barn. We're going to help the water infiltrate, not only to recharge the groundwater, but also to help the water get clean before it goes anywhere else. Because a lot of the water that is now running into rivers is coming from runoff sites like roads. It's pretty polluting, and we can quite simply do something about that. Well, that's a nice surprise. That filled up incredibly quickly in just one night. The many good things that I'm seeing is that I now exactly know where I'm going to build the spillway out. Rain Garden 1.0. Deepest zone, and then the first level, mint and willow. Second level, lemon balm. And then third level, thyme, rosemary, lavender, and these two black elders I found growing here. And so this whole rain garden constructed and vegetated and mulched with everything that I found here. So I've been away for a month and a half on a visit to the Netherlands, and coming back to the rain garden, this is what I'm discovering. Huge amounts of rainfall, and looks like this wall got oversaturated and collapsed. So now we have a rain garden with a mountain. And to finish with the rock star of water cycle revival, water bodies. They are the sexiest thing to have on your land. I think there's a human reason for that, because they're beautiful, they're nice to swim in, they just have a lot of aesthetic qualities. But biologically speaking, they are incredibly good at hydrating the ground. You keep water in a single spot for longer, giving it even more time to sink into the soil. It attracts a lot of wildlife and insects, and it has a role in controlling temperature and humidity, so it can have massive local climate impacts. Building small-scale models of what you envision for on the land. Mini landscapes that help you think with your hands. Okay, the model is almost done. We got a little bit pressed for time and we started getting really stressed, and then our clients all showed up. Okay, let's make use of their presence and ask them if they want to help out finishing the model. Marissa, what are you doing?
I'm planting cactus.
And why are you planting cactus in this row?
It's too rocky for regular trees.
Ah, okay. Uli, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's also a very important role.
I just stick things.
A tree line on a terrace that we dug slightly off contour. And then here, because the slope levels off, it becomes less steep. Let's experiment with some swales, and we're going to see if they're going to hold or whether they're going to cause a massive landslide and fill the pond with lots of organic muck. Hello, Rona.
Hello.
What animal are you?
I'm a beaver.
A beaver dam analog built by Rona the beaver. The water that overflows from the pond is going to go into that spillway and then come down. And then here is a sediment trap. So any excess sediment that comes down with the water can get dumped here. And then this beaver dam is going to slow the flow and accumulate a lot of nice nutrients, and then a lot of life is going to start growing here. Marco, do you want to explain what you built?
Uma prancha.
Uma prancha.
Para as pessoas saltarem e mergulharem
Okay, maybe the visuals will explain for people who don't speak Portuguese. You can run off it and then jump into... I wouldn't do it yet. That's all theory and model, and now we are going to put it to the test. This is the spillway. When the pond overflows, it doesn't spill over the dam. At least that's the idea. So it's now spilling over on that side, and that's not supposed to happen. When I say go, you can go from gentle to torrential rain. So we're getting a lot of erosion. Oh my God. What this is really telling me is that it's so important to have vegetation all along the hill, because this is now just really eroding everything. The dam is being compromised, people.
Oh no.
So the little mini ponds that are forming by the sediment traps, they're doing their work. One of my biggest takeaways already from this whole process of building a model is that it's really, really useful. Holding the material, working with the clay and trying to get it to the right moisture to build a good compacted dam, building the slightly off-contour terraces and swales, building a mini beaver dam analog, the spillways of the ponds, all of that stuff really helped me to see, okay, so how do you do that? Where do you put what? Now I'm a kid again. The first is digging test slices.
That's a jackpot.
No site analysis is complete if you don't know what's happening below the ground. Because you could be thinking it'd be really nice to dig a pond there, or there, or there. But you might just be digging something that's going to be a big hole with a lot of time and energy wasted. It was amazing for us to find out in some of the sites where we've been digging that places where we thought were going to be really suitable for a pond actually turned out to be the worst places for a pond. And other places where we hadn't thought a pond would be suitable turned out to be the best places. Just one day of getting a digger in, analyzing the soil by hand and with mason jars, gave us a wealth of information and a much, much better design. The second essential, coming together as a community.
And now
we can revive ecosystems on our own little plots of land all we want, but everything and everyone is connected. So if we really want to make a positive contribution to the health of the nature around us, we need to start collaborating not only with that nature, but also with the people in it.